Have you ever felt different? Like you're carrying a weight that others don't understand? Maybe you've been diagnosed with depression, but something deep inside tells you there's more to your story. Today, we're going to explore why what you're experiencing might not be depression at all. It could be a prophetic calling. Think about it. Throughout history, prophets weren't the happy-go-lucky people we might imagine. They carried burdens, felt deeply, and often struggled with what we today might label as depression. But what if these very struggles were signs of something greater? If you also have one of these experiences, leave a comment. If you want to make today the best day of your life, give this video a like. So let's go to the video. Let's talk about rejection, that painful feeling of being misunderstood or pushed aside. You might find yourself constantly feeling like an outsider, even among family and friends. People may call you too sensitive, too serious, or tell you to lighten up. But here's the thing, prophets throughout history faced the same treatment. Remember how Joseph's own brothers sold him into slavery? How Moses was questioned by his own people? These weren't just random acts of cruelty. They were part of their refinement process. When you experience rejection, it's like being in a spiritual gym. Each painful interaction strengthens your character, deepens your dependence on God, and purifies your message. You might notice that you can't just go with the flow or accept things at face value. While others seem content with surface-level spirituality, you feel a constant urge to dig deeper, to question, to seek truth even when it's uncomfortable. This rejection often comes with a peculiar pattern. The very people who initially reject you often come back later, seeking guidance or confirmation of things you tried to tell them before. Sound familiar? This isn't coincidence. It's part of the prophetic journey. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by emotions that don't seem to be your own? You might walk into a room and suddenly feel heavy, or meet someone and instantly know they're hurting, even though they're smiling. This isn't just being too sensitive, it's a prophetic burden. Prophets often carry the emotional weight of others, feeling things so deeply it can be almost unbearable. This sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's a divine antenna. You might find yourself crying over situations that don't directly affect you, feeling deep compassion for strangers, or being moved to pray for people you've never met. These aren't random emotional outbursts, they're prophetic intercession. When you feel that weight, it's often God inviting you to pray, to speak, or to act on behalf of others. Your heightened sensitivity might also extend to spiritual atmospheres. You can often tell when something's off in a situation, even if everything looks fine on the surface. This discernment isn't anxiety or paranoia. It's a prophetic gift being developed in you. One of the most confusing aspects of a prophetic calling is learning to distinguish God's voice from your own thoughts. You might find yourself having dreams that later come true, or getting strong impressions about situations or people that turn out to be accurate. These experiences can be frightening at first. After all, how do you know if it's really God speaking? The key lies in patterns and confirmation. You might notice that certain thoughts come with a distinct peace, even if they don't make logical sense at first. Or you might find that specific words or phrases keep recurring in your mind, only to hear someone else speak those exact words days later. These aren't coincidences. They're training grounds for your prophetic gift. Sometimes, you might feel an urgent need to share something with someone, only to discover later that your words were exactly what they needed to hear. This isn't just good timing or intuition, it's prophetic insight. The more you learn to recognize and trust these promptings, the clearer they become. Have you noticed that you can't seem to settle for the status quo? While others might be content with surface-level Christianity or traditional religious practices, you feel a constant push towards something more authentic, more aligned with heaven's perspective. This isn't rebelliousness, it's a prophetic mandate. You might find yourself deeply troubled by things that others seem to accept without question. Whether it's social injustice, religious hypocrisy, or spiritual compromise, you feel a burning need to address these issues. This isn't just being opinionated or difficult, it's carrying heaven's agenda. Prophets often see things from God's perspective, which can make it hard to accept human traditions or compromises. This burden often comes with a strong sense of timing. You might feel an urgency to speak or act at specific moments, even when it seems inconvenient or uncomfortable. This isn't impulsiveness, it's divine timing. Learning to move with this timing, even when it doesn't make sense to others, is crucial to your prophetic calling. Here's something that might surprise you. If you're experiencing intense spiritual warfare, particularly in areas of lust and pride, it might actually be confirmation of your prophetic calling. Why? Because the enemy often attacks what threatens him most. A true prophetic voice carries authority that can shake spiritual strongholds, so it's natural for there to be opposition. You might find yourself dealing with thoughts and temptations that seem to come out of nowhere, especially before or after times of significant spiritual breakthrough. This isn't a sign of weakness or disqualification. It's often confirmation that you're on the right track. The enemy doesn't waste time attacking what isn't a threat. Pride can be particularly tricky for those with prophetic gifts. You might swing between feeling incredibly special and feeling completely worthless. This isn't bipolar disorder. It's part of learning to handle the weight of divine revelation while remaining humble. True prophetic ministry requires both confidence in God's word and deep humility about oneself. What makes this journey particularly challenging is that these attacks often come through subtle channels, through praise from others, through opportunities for recognition, or through seemingly innocent compromises. Learning to navigate these challenges while maintaining both integrity and humility is crucial for anyone walking in prophetic ministry. So next time someone suggests you're just depressed, take a moment to consider, could these struggles be signs of something more? The answer might just change everything about how you see yourself and your purpose in this world.